Well, thanks to all those donations that were received over the weekend, we've got ourselves a few more bags of compost so we can carry on getting all these seeds sown this week. Thank you very much to this weekend's donators, which were Angelia Laughberry, Josie Bridges, Eric Tweedy and Paul Loveday. I really appreciate your generosity, so I'll get some of this sieved and we'll get some seeds sown today. Thank you very much for that. I'm slowly starting to empty this bench behind me. I want to get as many containers of freshly sown veg on there as I can. But look at these 3 romaine lettuce I put in that little container. And they were only about a week ago and they've shot up. I don't want to leave these in greenhouse. It's raining today once again, on and off, but it does get a bit too warm in greenhouse when it comes to your tender leaves like these. So we're moving everything outside, getting that bench cleared, and then we'll crack on with some seed sowing. Another container of carrots. That one's trying. A little cauliflower. It's only in a 2 litre pot for the moment, but it is perfectly healthy. What we've got as first pack done, that's the one we did yesterday. That's French beans. Not putting a label in it because I'll know exactly what they are when they come up. So now we've got plenty of space on this bench. It's all been cleared off. And we're doing these peas. We put these to soak last night because peas are dehydrated when you get them. So we like to soak them overnight because then they'll germinate quicker. And then they end up like that, nice and plump. We've got quite a few in there, and these peas are called twinkle, so they're basically a dwarf variety. And some people grow these just for pea shoots, but they're also alright to grow on to get pod peas. It's definitely coming down out there now. Once again, we've got a leak. Let's get this sieved and get on with today's sowing. It's some different compost that I'm trying today. It's called Westland. It don't look too bad, to be honest, but it's 3 bags for £15. We got to send 6 bags of that over the weekend. I'm going to be planting them peas into quite small cells today, so that's why I need to sieve this compost. And any that's left from sieving, the real lumpy stuff, we'll be saving anyway. We'll use them as bottom fillers for its containers. It don't really seem like July, does it? So all that really rough, lumpy stuff, we're keeping that as well. Once again this morning, I've had to be tying these tomato plants up. They've gone up by a foot or more just over the weekend. So while I'm in here doing these jobs, I just keep cutting odd bit of string and then tying up these plants. They're at a point now where they're almost at the top of those canes. So what I've just put in there is going to be plenty. I'm using these trays today as well. They're not massive cells. They don't take a lot of compost. They don't take up a lot of space. They are quite deep. So they're perfect for us peas. I can get a lot going all at once. At least now we know that there won't be any big stones or anything in this compost. So I'll fill them up. I'm not going to compress it down at the moment though, because we want to push these peas in deep. Otherwise they end up turning as they grow and your pea ends up sat on top, and we want it below surface. Just drain water out of these around base of my tomato plants. I'm pretty sure there's a bit of nutrition in that water since these peas have been soaking in it overnight. Nothing complicated about this job. We just take as rehydrated peas. I'm just going to put 1 in each cell. We don't want to do any more than that. If you look at that one, really close up, it's already started to sprout. That one's on its way before we even put it in compost. And that's the advantage of soaking them overnight. You're giving yourself an head start on that germination. So that's all those sorted. But all I'm going to do is poke them down with this little dibber. Because peas are quite big, we don't have to be too careful about how deep we push them down. So that's all those in, and then it's just a quick cover over. And we're not compacting this compost down again either. So that's the second sowing sorted out. And we've got quite a lot of plants to come out of that if they all germinate. And I've still got quite a lot of peas left, so I'm going to do another tray of those shortly. Then we've got plenty of plants to go out over the next couple of months. That melon plant behind me that we put in a container has really shot up over the weekend as well, and it's now got its first flowers on it. And you can see what I mean. That's his first flowers that's come on there, and it's getting close to the top of those canes already. But as I did mention before, it then starts shooting off into different directions, so you've got to keep your eye on it and just keep tying it up to those canes as it does that. So we get something more like that. So that's looking quite impressive so far, and that's this Crimson Sweet melon plant. And that tomato plant's doing really well, considering it's only in a 10-litre container. And that's also getting its first flowers. Since we're getting through quite a lot of salads, I need to keep resowing more seeds for those as well. But I only have to put them into these little containers. Little plastic containers that we get from Wilco's or Poundland. And we just make lots of holes in the bottom for drainage. Then we can fill those up and just broadcast a few seeds over the top, because we're going to prick those out as little seedlings and then plant them individually into their own little cells. As always, when we do this, it's a very small amount of compost to use, and it's not taking up any space either. So it's just a case of filling those containers up and making a nice level bed at the same time, because that helps when you're multi-sowing things. We don't want it pushing all that compost up in one clump, because then everything gets a bit messy. I'm giving these a quick watering as well, so when I put those seeds on, they stay where I've put them. And because it's a couple of weeks since we did lettuce, and we're eating quite a lot, we'll get some more of those little gems on go. They're very easy to grow. They don't take up any space, as you've seen on those containers that we're already doing. And I'll just put quite a lot of seeds in here. Then I can just pick out the biggest plants when it comes to that time. And then I'm going to do a bit of kale. Because we said we were going to do some of this kale, and we're going to prick them out as little plants, grow them on in these 6-packs until we get plants that are about 6 inch tall, and then I'm going to harvest them at that size. So we'll get a good few of these on go as well. You can get dwarf varieties, so then you could grow those in a container. A very light covering. We always do this with salads. Using this colander just guarantees us a very thin layer of compost over the top of those seeds. But for the kale, I'll just lightly sprinkle some over by hand, because they are bigger plants when they come out, and there's not as many seeds in this either. As we go through this week, we're going to be doing more and more of these containers, are all different varieties. So by the end of the week, that bench should be full, or all fresh sowings. And by the end of this month, we should have lots and lots of little plants that's going to last us through the rest of summer and into autumn. If you want to see what else we're going to be sowing over the next few days, please hit that subscribe button, press that notifications bell, and I'll see you next time. Take care.